Heyo all, welcome back to Mudstomp's Hardcore Let's Play series, episode 13 I think we're up to. So anyway, I've had a bit going on since the last episode, and in particular I've taken a break as well. I got a lot of the wall completed, as you'll see while I'm flying around here and showing off what I did a little bit. Just checking out, yeah, okay, I thought that might have been something else. Anyway, yeah, I've done quite a bit of the wall, and then obviously I went and did the ocean monument, did some other things. And so what I thought I'd do is just show you a bit of it from this end for today before heading off to do some other things. But basically, yeah, I've been working on this quite a lot, and then took quite a break from it because I just needed a break from hardcore, to be honest. I've been doing a lot of the speed runs and things like that in between. And I'm looking at starting a new series for the channel as well with Final Fantasy VIII. But at the moment, yeah, I thought I'd get back into this and see where we're at and what's going on. I'm having to basically remind myself of a few things because it's been that much of a break. I've kind of forgotten where some stuff is. That was kind of looking a little out of order, but I think the thing is that's the bridge off to spawn, and yeah, it's sort of, I think it's secured by lighting. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. But anyway, I'm saying a lot. I don't know why. It's been a while since I've played. So yeah, these are my shulkers for doing the wall. I've basically had all sorts of supplies in them. Had to restock a couple of times and that. I think I finished off that I was building the second tower. And in fact, I've now put a gate next to that tower and built up along this side and then down along next to this side. And there's not a tower on this corner because the hill just here is going to be a barracks or something. So yeah, we're sort of getting there with it in that regard. But anyway, that's just for your information. So I want to head off and do a bunch of different things today. So I'm just trying to gather supplies for odds and ends. I am going to return to this wall soon enough, I think, but for the moment I've got a few plans in mind for the next episode, and I want to get a lot done today just to get ready for that and sort of get into a couple of other things. So yeah, we're going to head in that direction, so to speak. So yeah, let me get moving on that, and we'll move on to the first project of the day. So yeah, but in the meantime, I hope you enjoy the view of the wall that is so far. As you can see, my sort of area extending and so forth. It's quite, yeah, amazing just to see how much I've got done, I think. But anyway, we will look at that further, or more so, in the near future. But for now, next project. Alrighty, so as you may or may not recognise, this is my first section of history floor, a 100 by 100 area where I'm going to be recording the events of my playthrough. So what I've got here is I have set up a number of shulkers with items that would represent those achievements and so forth. Achievements, day by day sort of actions, I guess you would say. And I'm going to start laying them out basically in order, starting with this corner over here. So I've pretty much put in what I would think is roughly, I don't know, the first chunk of items that I need. Basically I've put in this one, is my thinking. I may have muffed this up at some point, but anyway, it's all in here somewhere. I had to count it out. It took me ages to count it all out, but anyway. So yeah, I'm going to basically go along and place these items down to represent each day in my hardcore world and what I've done in the day. So for instance, things like a slime block for when I'm digging out the slime chunks and so on and so forth. I bet you can guess what all these buckets of fish are for. And then the last idea is that I'll have this glass that I'm going to put over the top of it to protect it once it's finished. So I don't know how it's going to go as far as the glass. I'm a bit concerned that if you're flying over, you're not going to be able to look through it or anything well enough, or even if you're walking over it, that the edging of the glass will stuff it up or something. I don't know. But it's going to be, yeah, we're just going to sort of try with it basically. So yeah, it's sort of, just to show you a little bit of it, I basically have a list sitting next to me and I go through the list and look at it and go, okay, yep, that's the number 1, number 2, and just sit here and go through it. So yeah, what I might do is skip forward a chunk until I've got a bit of this done, and yeah, you can see a little bit more of how it's turning out basically. So it's sort of I don't know, it's going to be a work in progress basically, and see what happens. It's never done anything like this before. It's just an idea I had, something different. You know, people usually have their trophies of like the dragon head and so on and so forth. Me too, obviously. But what I'm looking to try and do here is just, yeah, have something a bit different, I guess. So anyway, I've forgotten something, so let me go grab that and I'll drop back in soon. Well, as you can see, I've got quite a bit done. It's about 519 blocks, so to speak, completed. I say so to speak because I still have to put in these fish buckets everywhere. So right now, I've just got to go back through and check that I've got it all in the right spot and whatnot as I go. But what I've decided to do is to actually put farmland, as you've seen, and grass blocks and fish buckets down one block. And the reason for this being obviously that farmland and grassland, they would disappear under a glass block, I think. And for the fish buckets, I just figured I don't want to be flooding into other areas and making things like the what do you call it, the picture frames and that disappear. So yeah, I'm going to clear out all the dirt and the gravel around this, so it's all just stone like the rest of it, and put some buckets in. So we'll get that going and see how we go. I've realised too, I'm going to have a bit of a problem here because I've got a fish in each bucket, and I've got to try and make it so that you know, I've got to duplicate water sources. I've only got enough fish for each spot that needs one. So like if it's a 10-day stint, it's got one fish with a bunch of water in it. So I'm going to have to fiddle around with that a little bit. But yeah, I think it'll be alright. So anyway, let me get a bit more of that done. Alrighty, so fish are done. As you can see, some water there. And now it's time to cover this over with some glass blocks for protection's sake. So yeah, I'm going to just work along here doing that. And while I'm doing that, you can have a bit of a look at what we've got. Hopefully you're seeing the variety that's going in here. The stone blocks, I can't remember what I set that for. I think that was for mining days or something, just because you're down low in the mining area, obviously. But yeah, it's kind of it's interesting. I'm actually liking how it's looking and all of that. It's not quite what I expected it to be in a way, which I don't know what I really expected, but it just became this thing that this is how it was going to go, and I just kept planning on it, and this is where we've ended up. So yeah, it's sort of interesting in that way, but it's kind of like really nice to see all the different things I've been getting up to and how often I get up to things. So like redstone ore, actually I think redstone ore is mining, so I don't know what stone is actually, come to think of it. Maybe it's building or something. I'm not sure, but I'll have to look it up and come back. Waterlogged chest, for instance, that's probably a pirate ship that I raided at some point, a sunken ship rather. Grassland tends to be gathering or something, I think, and then bone blocks is usually the mob farm for collecting all the mob drops. So obviously bone meal turns into bone blocks. The stone wall here in front of me, cobblestone wall, is for when I built the wall around the village. You've got the ender eyes down there, which is when I went to fight the dragon and had to gather the ender eyes, and the blaze rods from the blazes, obviously. The stone brick for when I was in the actual stronghold, and then obviously again fighting the ender dragon and whatnot. Shulkers for when I got a shulker box the first time or something to that effect, and when I went to the end cities. Stone swords under me for when I was fighting wither skeletons, and so on. A wool here, the wool is when I set up the wool farm. So yeah, you get the idea basically. A lot of different things going on there, and emerald blocks would be trading, of course. Sand for sand gathering, so on and so forth. So it's all matching up basically. But yeah, I think it's really coming along. Obviously, I've only done, like I said, about 5 rows. So it was the kind of thing where, yeah, I just wanted to get a start on this to see how it would turn out basically. And I am loving it. So I'm definitely going to continue doing this. But 5 rows done out of 100. So as you can imagine, I've done 500 days roughly, and I've got 9,500 days to go. So yeah, that's how it's going to look. Now you're joining me on top of my mob farm, or not right on top I should say, at the catchment area. I'm just having a look down at my village while it's at night time. I don't get a chance to do this much. And you'll see that I've built a bit of a tower under the mob farm and one a bit off to the side here as well. So Yeah, these are connecting towers, tunnels towards the wall and so forth. So this is for when I fight raids basically, and I've only got that back corner over there to finish. I'm gonna probably put the wall out to the right a bit from that point, and then go up to the corner and do another tower on the corner and so forth. But yeah, this is the mob farm in its glory at the moment, and I've sort of worked on a little bit of tunneling down here and stuff, tunneling pathway, whatever you want to call it, to be able to reach all the drops and things like that. I've got all my food in that feeding in back over there, and these are the chests for the mod drop. And as you can see, I'm getting some nice shiny mobs coming through, lots of different mobs that survive the fall. So I've got to come in here every now and then and clear them out, but other than that, it's been going quite well. I've actually been relatively surprised how much I get out of this, and I think that I've really actually probably muffed the farm up a little bit, but it's enough for what I can do. As you saw with all the bone blocks and that, I get plenty of drops of all sorts, so it's really great collecting all these drops and just putting them to use. The most recent thing, of course, is to understand that I've got access to gunpowder, access to bone meal, and funnily enough, the other big one is the string and the rotten flesh for trading purposes. Something I've realised recently is they're really good for trading into villages for well, emeralds, and for upgrading. I think it was the alchemist ones. I'm not 100% sure, but something like that. Anyway, there's rotten flesh in this, like 32 for 1 emerald, so it's not, a great rate, but at the same time, it definitely means that you get, get them upgraded and whatnot. So, what I'm going to basically do now is spend a bit of time collecting all this stuff from a big AFK session I had to get them dropping a lot of things. Again, as you can see by all these chests that I've got here, sorry, shulkers that I've got here filled up. And yeah, I'm going to sort all this stuff out and get it sort of ready to go downstairs and put to use in other ways. The arrows in particular, I still don't know what I'm going to do with them. I've been thinking about a mob trap to shoot arrows at a raid group or something to try and help me kill them quicker or something. I'm still not sure how that's going to work, to be honest, but my hope is that maybe I can get it to a point where I can get them into a tunneled area or in a moat or something, and then it just fires out at them really rapidly, something like that. So yeah, and again, of course, you can see all my other different drops and whatnot I'm getting here. So yeah, let's get this sorted. Joining me now, I am in my villager trading area. I've set up quite a few villages in the past, but I'm getting a few more set up now, mainly because, as I said, I'm trying to look at using the rotten flesh and spider silk and stuff for trading, so I want to try and get a few more in here. It's proving a bit difficult. They don't want to move around much today for some reason. I think they're trolling me, to be honest, but yeah, it's not a real setup area in a lot of ways, to be honest. I've kind of spent just a lot of time using it but not actually making it look nice, so that's one of the things I'm going to aim for in the coming weeks, is to try and get it so that this is actually a nice looking trading area, depending on how I go. And yeah, then they'll be sort of, a bit more accessible, labelled up, that sort of thing. But I've got to figure out how I'm going to do that, because I've put this in long ago, and yeah, I just need to figure that all out. So anyway, as you can see, I'm going to get them all into things and get some trading done, and I'll show you the results in a few minutes. Okay, so I'm finishing up my trading for today, and like I said, I thought I'd show you just the last little bit of this trading and what my haul's looking like at the moment. I've moved the what would you call it, wall dividers back a block, because I've realised I can access the XP easier this way, and they don't need those extra blocks in there, so this will enable me to make it look a bit nicer eventually when I shape it out and whatnot. So I had to have these dirt walls in here just to get the villagers in and whatnot, but yeah, it's looking quite good. I've got a lot of trading done. In particular, I managed to get quite a lot of emerald blocks, so I think I've got 2.5 stacks, so it's been going really well. Really happy with that. Alright, well, let's get on to the next thing for the day. I know there's a lot going on, but you'll find out why soon enough. Okay, moving on from some trading, we're going to go do some collecting. So as you can see, I've got my map here, and if you've been watching a lot previously, you probably have a guess of where I'm heading based on where I'm looking. So we'll see if you guess right. Chuck a comment in the comment section if you want to have a guess before we get there. But just flying over while we're going there, you can see in my map I've got the big grey area that I'm flying over now for my history floor that we were working on earlier. Just underneath me is sort of the forest that I go mining on. This is the dark oak forest in particular that I've been getting all my dark oak wood for all my builds coming up and whatnot. And yeah, this is sort of over to the left area here is where I got a lot of my beehives and that sort of thing for my bee farm. So yeah, the very top left is the alternate village that I'm hoping to set up for raiding at some point, although if I set up my wall well enough I might not bother with that too much. But yeah, it's just a thought there, pretty much. I had thought that this was my area for farming sand, but as it turns out it's actually just an alternate area. The one that I really used was actually in this top right area, which is where we're heading for today. So I'm going to get landed, I'm going to get set up, and we're going to get into some sand gathering. So yeah, I'll jump back again when I'm done there. If you're thinking this is a bit weird for me today, I decided not to do too many montages today. It's a lot of little tasks, and I just thought instead we're just going to jump through them and get them done. So yeah, having gotten here, this is my little outpost that I was trying to find previously in an episode and couldn't find. And yeah, as you can see, I've cleared the sand off the top here, but what we're going to do is we're going to set up down lower, I think. I just want to have a quick check. Yeah, nothing in there, I thought. I think we're going to set up down here in the flat area and start clearing this entire area. So yeah, let me do that. Let me get into it and I'll catch you on the other side. Alrighty, so getting quite a bit of sand cleared. I've cleared up over this hill just in front of me to the right. I've decided to draw a line in the sand, as it were, right here and just end the session here. I've cleared out, oh, I don't know, about 4 or 5 chalkers worth of sand, I think, so far. It's just been a small session, but it's basically for what I'm going to do with it that I don't need so much right now. I will need a lot more in the future. In the future, I'm planning on clearing an ocean monument completely around, so I'm going to come back here and basically take all of this sand eventually. But at the moment, it's just this layer here, just to fill up my inventory right at the minute. And yeah, it's sort of just a little bit, so to speak. 4 shulkers is quite a bit, obviously, but 4, maybe 6, I don't know. Anyway, so I've set up down here. This is where I started, basically. I cleared out from here and off in that direction. And yeah, so we're kind of getting there. And yeah, that's it, basically. So anyway, lots of sand collected. I know you didn't get to see much of it, but like I said, I'm just sort of jumping around showing you what I'm doing today because of what's coming up next episode. So let me get this collected. Let me get back to base and I'll show you what I'm working on and give you hints of what next episode might be. And then you can maybe chuck a comment in the comment section to tell me what you think I'm doing next episode, because it's a pretty big step. So let's see how we go. Alrighty, last task for today, everybody. Again, lots of little tasks today, but all in preparation for next episode. So, as you can see, I've gathered sand, I've gathered gunpowder, I've set myself up for a lot of other little things along the way, all hints to what I'm doing next episode. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you, so have a guess in the comments if you want and let me know. There's probably some strong hints going on about where, what, and whatever, but yeah, in the meantime, thank you for watching. Thank you for participating in the episode as much as you did. And I look forward to next episode and showing you what we're going to get up to there. And other than that, as per usual, if you want to keep me encouraged, comment, like, subscribe, all the rest, share it with your friends and so forth. And I hope that one day we're going to see some really booming things happening soon, because I'm really starting to get on top of all this building stuff and whatnot. I've basically got all my collections down pat, so now it's starting to become a thing of really collecting items that I want to use for different things and building structures. And that's the thing, this village is going to get transformed immensely in the coming weeks. So stay tuned, and yeah, otherwise, Mudstomp out.